How can you tell if you're stressed out, traumatized, or stressed out from being traumatized? Well, do you suffer from panic attacks and anxiety? Does it seem like your life moves in fits and starts, almost like you have one foot on the gas and the other one on the brake? Do you spend a lot of your time lamenting the past or worrying about the future? Do you find yourself in endless loops of vicious cycles, struggling to make changes, but constantly finding yourself repeating patterns and hitting the same roadblocks over and over? Maybe you feel out of it. Just not fully present in your life, hopeless and disempowered. Do you self-medicate with food, alcohol, sex, drugs, or even prayer, meditation, or exercise? Do you have a hard time sitting still and throw yourself into activity and busy work? You probably tell yourself that you've already tried everything from reading self-help books, attending seminars and retreats, and you might have even explored traditional talk therapy and alternative therapies, but nothing seems to help, or that the things that used to help simply stopped working. My name is Brian Mahan, and I have to admit right off the top that I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or even a clinical social worker. I am a wounded healer, a trauma survivor. I have had more than my share of developmental and shock traumas throughout my life. And subsequently, I've suffered from low self-esteem, social anxiety, negative cyclical thinking, depression, full-blown panic attacks, and even suicidal thoughts. But I have spent the last 9 years studying the physiology of stress and trauma. In fact, I spent 25 years as an insatiable seeker who was willing to try anything and everything in an effort to heal and gain control of my life. Believe me, I have taken introspection to the point of self-indulgence. I have tried every pill, potion, and powder known to man. I went broke attending workshops and seminars. I sat at the foot of many a guru, and I've studied, to some degree, most of the world's religions, and even a few of the outer fringy woo-woo Ramalama ding-dong ones as well. So I have meditated. I have medicated myself into a stupor. I read every book I could get my hands on. I even bought a book on self-sabotage once. Never finished it. What if I told you that it doesn't matter how much mental gymnastics you do, or how strong-willed your white-knuckled discipline is, or how much support you have? Oprah's a prime example of this. And if Oprah can attain self-mastery around a particular condition that she's explored in the public forum for many years, then, well, how can we ever expect to? But I can tell you about how I stumbled upon the missing link. I'd like to share with you how a near-death experience is what had to occur in order for me to find my way to true, profound, and long-lasting healing. And it also set the stage for me to become more grounded, centered, boundaried, embodied, empowered, in the moment, safe and joyful. See, the keys to the kingdom is an understanding that like attracts like and like heals like. So I wouldn't want to go to a dentist for a hemorrhoid operation any more than I'd try to treat a toothache with preparation H. I don't want you to have to undergo something like a catastrophic car wreck like I did in order to discover that you have to meet a malady on the malady's terms. In other words, go to a dentist for dentistry and go to a gastroenterologist for a colonoscopy. So even though I spent 25 years trying anything and everything to heal, I found that I was spending a lot of time and money going about it the wrong way. And I'd like to help you to step off the hamster wheel and to nip the trial and error scattershot method of healing in the bud. As a result of past experiences that we found to be threatening, overwhelming, or even underwhelming, our autonomic nervous systems can become dysregulated. So imagine that your nervous system has a series of short circuits. It would be the equivalent of trying to navigate your way through Los Angeles on the surface streets during rush hour on a bus on Friday, and there are a few of the traffic lights along the way that are stuck in red. And while other people in shiny little sports cars are tearing off side streets to find their shortcut, or maybe even turning around to go home, you're still on the bus. You see, trauma occurs in the body, not in the event. And so if it's a physiological condition, then the good news is that it's not a psychological disorder. But that's not to say that left untreated over time, the psychological components of our coping mechanisms can take center stage. And if we have a short-circuited physiological responses coupled with unresolved psychological responses, and we're compounding that problem by adding to the mix certain behaviors in an effort to self-soothe, well, and they may not be the most healthy and proactive choices, then we have a recipe for disaster that can lead to physical diseases. So again, enter your information below and then check your email. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook.